Cincinnati, and I'm here to give you 4 basic warm-ups that every drummer should know. So these are exercises that kind of get your hands going and get you warmed up for your show or your lesson or anything like that. Even if you're not a drummer and you want to learn how to play drums, this is a good way to get some proper technique and to get your hands going. So let's start with how to actually hold the sticks. So what you want to do is you take your stick, you throw it across your hand like this, and you want to put your thumb and your first finger on the stick. This is the most important part of the connection, okay? Then you want your other fingers just kind of loosely wrap around the stick like this. Do the same thing with your other hand. What you want to do then, when you get yourself in playing position, you want to make sure that your back of your hands are facing up. You want to get away from doing something like this, okay? You want it more like this. Now, when you hit the drum, you want everything to come from your wrist. You don't want things to come from your arm like this. So when I hit the drum, you notice it all comes from my wrists. Not. So that's a difference of looking like this and looking like this. All right, there's a difference. Here's the other difference. Back of your hands facing up. Here's what it looks like the other way. You can get away with this for a little bit, but if you want to get a little more advanced in drumming, you're going to want to turn your hands over like this. All right, let's get started with the first warm-up. I'm going to put that up on the screen here. I call this countdown warm-up. Now, this is a basic 8-on-hand exercise, but I have a little bit of a variation on there. All right, so let me explain how it works. We're going to do 8 hits on the right hand, 8 hits on the left hand, and then we're going to repeat that. As we continue, we're going to do counting down. So the next thing we do is 4s, the next thing we do is 3s, next thing is 2s, and then we have 1s. You can check out, I have the exercise link in the description of this video. So you can click on that and download that, and this is something you can follow along with. I call this countdown, and let me show it to you. Okay, notice as I went along in the exercise, I made sure that every note sounded the same, okay? When I did my 8s, I wasn't, okay? I made sure every note sounded the same. And going back between your hands, you want both your hands to sound the same as well. You don't want to be like, okay? Typically, if you're right-handed, your left hand's going to be a little weaker, so you need to concentrate on that. And vice versa, if you're a left-handed person, usually your right hand's just a little bit weaker. So you want every hit to sound the same. Nice. Let me go through that exercise one more time. All right, this is what we call a general 8-on-hand exercise. It's my variation called countdown. All right, the next exercise I'd like to show you is an exercise that every drummer knows. It's actually an essential rudiment. If you don't know what rudiments are, Google that right now. And what you want to do, this is called a paradiddle, okay? You'll find out in drumming, there's a lot of funny words that they use, and this one is paradiddle. All right, so paradiddle is right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. If somebody came up to you and said, hey man, can you explain to me what a paradiddle is? Your answer would be right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. That's the answer of what a paradiddle is. All right, so once I call paradiddles kind of like your tongue twisters for your hand a little bit, because you can get kind of wrapped up in them a little bit. It's a little more of an exercise to work your coordination. At the same time, you also want to make sure you're hitting the drum the same way, just like you're using proper technique. My notes sound the same. I'm not doing anything like that. So the challenge I do a little bit on for my students is I have you pick a tempo on a metronome, and if you can play this for 20 times in a row, then you're pretty good on that tempo. Then you want to bump up to your next tempo. With any of these exercises, you want to start slow and build up your speed fast. Don't try to build up fast. Don't try to go too fast, too quick. Because what happens is you try to do it too fast, too quick, and you might be able to get through it, but it may look like that. Okay, so you need to work it slow to make sure everything is proper, you're doing the proper thing, and then when you get faster, it won't be a problem. Every note sounded the same and was an even tempo. All right, drum instructor at School of Rock Cincinnati, Andrew Karras, actually showed me this exercise, which I'm going to put up there. And for lack of a better term, I'm going to call it a caradiddle. And that goes... All right, this is a little bit of what I was calling like a tongue twister for your hands. To get this faster, it's a little bit of a challenge. So I actually challenge you to post your caradiddle on Instagram, whatever tempo that you want. And remember this, like at first, you need to go slow. So if you're a beginner drummer, you're not going to be able to go so fast, and that's okay. If you're a little more advanced, challenge yourself to build up your speed on it. But what I want to do is challenge you to do the caradiddle and put that on Instagram and tag it at hashtag #SORCincyCaradiddle. And in the description, if you want to put the tempo that you were working your caradiddle at, that'd be awesome. So the next exercise I want to show you is a doubles exercise. All right, this is a general exercise that every drummer should know, and I putting this up on the screen for you. And what this exercise is going to do, it's going to help you with a little bit of your independence and your speed, but really this kind of gets you into working your rolls. All right, if you never heard of a drum roll, there's multiple different types of drum rolls out there, but this is going to help you work up to doing a drum roll. So let me run through the exercise for you. Okay, notice as I go through the exercise, I'm trying to get every note to sound the same, even when I do the doubles. All right, you want to make sure that, and then when you do the doubles, you want to make sure that every note sounds the same and it doesn't sound something like this. Okay, you hear the difference? Let me run through the exercise one more time for you. Okay, now on a drum roll, if you get a drum roll fast, you want to learn how to bounce the stick. But right now, we're not worried about that. I want you to make sure you're controlling each stroke. So not bouncing, but hitting the drum twice. You notice my hand hits 2 times for those doubles. All right, the last exercise I feel like every drummer should know is an accent exercise. So an accent is a hit or a stroke that's a little bit louder than every other stroke. So if I was going to play something like this, and I want an accent, All those louder notes are what I'm going to call accents. Now, I'm going to pull that exercise up. And you'll see, and I'm going to play through this exercise for you. So you'll see that your first hit, I'm going to accent. And then the non-accented notes, I'm going to call taps. So it's going to be accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap. Okay, now this exercise, what this does is you're gaining control of your hands. So this exercise doesn't benefit you if you're just going or something like that, right? You got to gain control of your hands. So when you hit your accent, see how I stop my hand? And I'm going to tap, okay? Accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap, tap, tap. I kind of have to stop my hand when I come down. So it's different than this sort of stroke. You see how I bring my hand all the way up? If I want to do a bunch of, like I do 8 on hand, this is a little bit different exercise. Accent, tap, tap, tap. Accent, tap, tap, tap. So let me play this exercise one more time for you. Play this one a little bit faster. Okay. Now let me give you some tips about running all these exercises. Use a metronome. So all these exercises, like I said before, go from slow to fast. So you want to start, I recommend 3 different tempos to challenge yourself at. Start at tempo 72. Run through the exercises. Go to tempo marking 90, run through the exercises. Then challenge yourself, see if you can get to 120. If you're a little more advanced, start at those spots to make sure you're doing everything correctly, and then keep pushing yourself to get faster and faster and faster. Remember, when you get faster, you want to also do your proper technique. This is not only going to help you be a better drum set player, but a better player all around. Because you can take these exercises and incorporate those in drum set playing. That's another video I can make for you. If you take lessons from me, you've probably already been involved with like working paradiddles around the drum set, or learning how to do those doubles, or learning your accents, how to do those in the hi-hat when you play a groove. Another tip is to use a non-bouncy surface. So when I was talking about doing the doubles, I want to get away from learning how to bounce right now. Okay, let's learn how to control our hands before we learn how to bounce. So what I do is, here's an old towel that I have. I'm going to put that down, and with this, the stick really doesn't bounce. So now I have to make sure that I control everything. So if I do that doubles exercise, all right, and I can get through that. So feel how you want to get that faster and faster and faster. And then if you can control, the more you can control, the better your roll is going to sound in the end. That was all control. There was no bounce in there. Okay, here's more of a bounce. Okay, the other tip is to always use proper technique. Okay, take your back of your hands, face them up. Let's get out of this, move to this. All right, so those are our 4 basic warm-ups or exercises that every drummer should know, or aspiring drummer should know. Don't forget about the Caradiddle challenge. So what you want to do is try to work that as fast as tempo as you can. And if you're a beginner, you're not going to be able to go that fast. And that's okay, because you're a beginner. If you're a little more advanced, push yourself. But try to make it nice and clean. Try to make it with good technique. And video yourself, put on Instagram, and we're going to do hashtag SOR Cincy Caradiddle. And then put your tempo there in the description. All right. Thank you for listening. This is Mark from School of Rock Cincinnati. Keep on rocking.